Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another video of UVision, where I'm still trying to figure out a name, but I'm very thankful for peace and greetings. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another video of peace and greetings, and welcome back to another live. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another episode of UVision, where I'm still trying to figure out the name. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another vid. Peace and greetings, and welcome back. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another episode of Ustream. Peace and greetings, welcome back to another episode of UVision, where I'm still trying to figure out the reason why I chose his name. On today's episode, right, the results are in. AstraZeneca COVID-19. Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another episode of UVision, where we try to figure out why I chose his name. Peace and greetings, and welcome back to another episode of UVision, where I'm still trying to figure out why I chose the name that I did. The results are in. Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to my first subscriber. Respect you. I appreciate you, wherever you may be. I tried to see if I could find you to give you a more personal shout out. I couldn't, but thank you again. You still excuse me when watching this video, so you're perfectly fine. You're gonna watch this maybe a month later and watch it. The results are in. AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine is 79% effective. If you watch my previous video, I actually was talking about how this was in the 60% effective against Pfizer and Moderna, which is Pfizer is 97% effective. Moderna is 89 to 92% effective. Okay, so this is all at this time of publishing. Things may change after you watch this video between that date and now. A year ago, and the day of this video publishing is about the 24th, 25th, actually. A year ago, the collaboration between AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford on the COVID-19 vaccine was leading effort. Through a series of hiccups and complications, only now is the vaccine data being announced in the United States, although the vaccine itself is being deployed in other parts of the world. Pretty strange, this first paragraph, like other parts of the world. AstraZeneca reported that the United States phase 3 trial of vaccine AZD1222 demonstrated an efficacy of 79% at preventing symptomatic COVID-19 and 100% efficacy at preventing severe disease and hospitalization. The announcement was an interim analysis based on 32,449 participants in the trial, reporting 141 symptomatic cases of COVID-19. Efficacy was consistent across all ethnicities and ages, and in participants 65 years of age and older. Efficacy was 80%. These findings reconfirm previous results observed in AZD1222 trials across adult populations. But it's exciting to see similar efficacy results in people over 65 for the first time, said Anne Falsley, professor of medicine, University of Rochester School of Medicine and co-lead principal investigator for the trial. This analysis validates the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine as much needed additional vaccination option, offering confidence that adults of all ages can benefit from protection against the virus. I have my own discrepancies against AstraZeneca and Johnson Johnson. But we'll continue. We may get into that a little bit. The AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine has had a bit of a particular and troubled history. In April 2020, as vaccine efforts were just beginning, AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford were leading the way. The Oxford group has been conducting vaccine studies on SARS on SARS-CoV-1, the coronavirus that causes SARS, in 2019, and made quick pivot to working on SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. The vaccine leverages a viral vector using weakened versions of common cold adenovirus, viruses that contain genetic materials of SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. The particular recombinant adenovirus vectors CHDOX1 was selected to create a strong immune response from a single dose. It does not replicate, so it does not cause an infection in person receiving the vaccine. In September 2020, the vaccine group paused their phase 3 vaccine trial after a report that one of the patients receiving the vaccine developed symptoms similar to a serious spinal inflammatory disorder called transverse myelitis. Myelitis? The, the patient was a woman in the United Kingdom who recovered within about a week. The trial was paused globally, then began in every location except the United States, where it was delayed for several weeks while the United States Food and Drug Administration FDA evaluated the available data. In a related story, a study published recently in the England, wait, in a related story, a study published recently in the New England Journal of Medicine reported that the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine was not effective against the South African COVID-19 variant. The study evaluated 1,467 patients in South Africa and found that among the people receiving the vaccine, 19 or 2.5% developed a mild to moderate COVID-19 at least 14 days after receiving the second dose compared to 23, which is 3.2% of people who received the placebo. Of the 42 patients who became infected, 39 were from B1.351 South African variant, which the study projected as 10.9% effectiveness against the variant. Then most recently, more than a dozen countries suspended deployment of AstraZeneca Oxford University vaccine after incidents of blood clots were reported per data received on March 8th. 17 million people in the European Union and the United Kingdom have received the vaccine, and there have been 15 cases of deep vein thrombosis and 22 cases of pulmonary embolism. Incidents were first reported in Denmark, Norway, who halted distribution, followed by Germany, France, and other countries. Germany's health minister Jens Spahn admitted it was a very low risk, but would be above average if it was actually linked to the vaccine. My thing is, even though these are very low numbers, 15 cases and 22 cases amongst 17 million people, oh no. But my main worry is what happens over time. That's the main worry. What happens over time? I mean, yeah, this is what shows up right now. But if we have these showing up right now, what's going to happen in 6 months, 12 months, when these people can't get a lawsuit or got to go through a whole 6 years of lawsuits to even get any financial money back? And they probably be dead by then, God forbid. On March 14, AstraZeneca issued a statement noting a careful review of all available safety data of more than 17 million people vaccinated in the European Union, UE, and UK with COVID-19 vaccine. AstraZeneca just showed no evidence of an risk an increased risk of pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, DVT, or thrombocytopenia, nailed it, in any defined age group, gender, batch, or any particular country. In fact, the company pointed out this is much lower than would be expected to occur naturally in general population of this size and is similar across other licensed COVID-19 vaccines. Hmm. I haven't heard the blood clots on other vaccines or thrombosis. I've heard what have I heard? Drag nabbit. Excuse me. Excuse me, I have to check. So when they say similar across other licenses, I know there's Bell palsy, happened between the Moderna and Pfizer, but not pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis so far. It may change. I'm 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 not denying that, but so far nothing has appeared. So far nothing has appeared. Europe has access to several other vaccines, but AP notes that is not an easy decision when COVID-19 has already killed more than 500,000 people and is surging again. For other countries, typically low income and developing countries, the issue is a big problem because many are depending on primary on acid because many are primary because many are depending primarily on the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine via a global initiative known as COVAX. Gradually, I'm starting to have a problem because now it's like Pfizer and Moderna has been consistently 97 to 89 to 92, but AstraZeneca, that's been 65% for the longest, just recently got to 79%, is still a global initiative. Okay, the world works in strange ways. The AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine has not yet been authorized by the FDA, although Anthony Fauci, the White House chief medical officer and director of the United States National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, told lawmakers last week that there will probably, I don't like that word, probably be sufficient safety and efficacy data in April for an emergency use of authorization. That's just like a safety word. Bro, if you got data, you don't need no safety word. The entire process is both transparent and independent, and we explain that to people and take the time to address their hesitancy without being confrontative. Fauci told the White House Committee on Energy and Commerce. Francis Collins, director of United States National Institute of Health, NIH, told Reuters last Monday that he was pretty reassured by what European regulators have been saying, primarily that the blood clotting issue are by chance, and also Boris Johnson, the elected official. I forgot what is he? What's his official title? He actually just took the vaccine the other day. He was very proud. He definitely touted taking the AstraZeneca vaccine. So, you know, he has some adverse reactions. You know what vaccine he took. Well, supposedly took. I was a bit surprised that so many countries decided to put pause on the administration of the vaccine, especially at a time where the disease itself is incredibly threatening in most of the countries. Collins told CNN on Wednesday. But I'm saying though, if America that a lot of these countries are allied with and follow under, and they believe that America has better equipment to better test these vaccines. Would you not follow the person better equipped to let their people know like it's not good to take or it is good to take? And then you would pretty much follow them. It's like follow the leader. Like a billionaire has all this other stuff and other opportunities. So people try to follow and emulate a billionaire to become one. And people believe America is, high tech and care about its people. We won't say if it do or doesn't, but that's what it's believed. But he also added that he doesn't have access to the primary data that might have caused them to be alarmed. And that's another thing. Like, you don't have access to the primary data, my brother. No, that's clipped right there. No, it doesn't make any sense. They have to be transparent. If they want trust, transparency, if you wanted that documentation, you should have gotten it. Mini Pangalos, sorry, screwed your whole name up. Executive Vice President Biopharmaceuticals R&D for AstraZeneca stated about today's announcement, these results add to the growing body of evidence that show that this vaccine is well tolerated and highly effective against all severities of COVID-19 across all age groups. We are confident that this vaccine can play an important role in protecting millions of people worldwide against this lethal virus. We are preparing to submit these findings to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and for the rollout of millions of doses across America, should the vaccine be granted U.S. emergency use authorization. All right, man. AstraZeneca, the article's on Biospace if you want to read it by Mark Terry. All right, next article. Not so trusting in Mr. Bill Gates right here. Bill Gates supports a project to cool Earth with chalk dust. A large balloon will be launched shortly in Sweden that spew particles of calcium carbonate, which is essentially chalk dust, in order to dim the sunlight. I don't know about everyone else, but over here, we just had the one of the coldest winters, where there's so much snow. We don't need no more cooling. Not in this area. They remember the project with which Bill Gates wanted to cover the sun to cool the earth. Well, this summer the test will begin according to the Times report. A large balloon will soon be launched in Sweden that will spew out particles of calcium carbonate, which is essentially chalk dust. The controlled stratosphere perturbation experiment wants to prove that the release of this dust in the stratosphere could eventually divert some of the sun's energy and lower the temperatures of our planet. Historical fact: the balloon will be launched near the Arctic of Kiruna, and it would be the first serious attempt to test whether global warming can be kept under control by dimming the sunlight. The research is carried out by scientists at Harvard University and financed by private donors, including the founder of Microsoft, and has the purpose of achieving that the sunlight is reflected outside the atmosphere of our planet. Bill Gates. Scopix is a scientific experiment to advance the understanding of stratospheric aerosols that could be relevant for solar geoengineering. The project page reads, scientific opponents of this project believe that solar geoengineering could bring Scientific opponents of this project believe that solar geoengineering could bring imperative risks and extreme changes in weather patterns that we be no different than current. Wow. Scientific opponents of this project believe that solar geoengineering could bring imperative risks and extreme changes in weather patterns that would be no different than current warming trends. On the other hand, environmentalists fear that the dramatic change in the mitigation strategy will become a green light for greenhouse gases to continue to be emitted without any variation in current consumption patterns. But I mean, like, they do know that the biggest greenhouse gas emitters are those private jets they fly on every fucking day. Sorry, excuse the language. According to the Times, some critics of the project argue that working on this type of solar geoengineering could backfire by giving politicians an excuse to delay reducing. According to the Times, some critics of this project argue that working on this type of solar geoengineering could backfire by giving politicians an excuse to delay reducing greenhouse gas emissions. That's another good point. All right, Bill Gates, you ain't got no credibility, but you got a big bank account. On to the next one. Russia and China are sending Biden a message. Don't judge us or try to change us. Those days are over. I'm trying to make. Okay. The past week has marked a watershed moment in Russia relations within the. The past week has marked a watershed moment in Russia relations with the West, and the U.S. in particular. In two dramatic television moments, U.S. President Joe Biden and Russia President Vladimir Putin have changed the dynamics between their countries, perhaps irrevocably. Mm. Most commentators in the West have focused on Putin's trolling of Biden by dryly, though. Come on now. Most commentators in the West have focused on Putin's trolling of Biden by dryly, though, according to Putin, unironically wishing his American counterpart good health. This, of course, came after Biden called Putin a killer, but a more careful, complete reading of Putin's message to the United States is necessary to understand how Russia leader is. Finally, ready to tell the United States, do not judge us by your claim standards and do not try to tell us what to do. Putin have never asserted these propositions so bluntly, and it matters when he does. Putin's message to the United States president, the tense test of strength began when Biden was asked about Putin in an interview with the ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, and agreed he was a killer. And that interview was such a baby interview. Like, George, you don't need to do no more interviews if you're going to baby every interviewer that you do. Stop it. And didn't have a soul. He also said Putin will pay a price for his actions. I'm still waiting for that Russian investigation y'all were doing. Putin then took an unusual step going in onto the state broadcaster VGTRK with a prepared 5-minute statement in response to Biden. We could watch. All right, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're gonna watch like 2 minutes. Then you can always, go to the conversation and then you check the link yourself. Okay, so we're only gonna. We're only gonna watch like 2 minutes of this video. I'm trying to keep this video short. That's pretty much it.
Моего американского коллеги. Мы действительно, как он сказал, мы с ним лично знакомы. И что бы я ему ответил? Я бы сказал ему, будьте здоровы. Я желаю ему здоровья. Говорю это без иронии, без шутки. Это первое. Второе, если говорить пошире по этой теме, то вот что бы хотел сказать. В истории каждого народа, каждого государства много очень тяжелых, драматических и кровавых событий. Но когда мы оцениваем других людей, или когда оцениваем даже другие государства, другие народы, мы всегда как бы смотримся как будто в зеркало. Мы всегда там видим себя. Потому что всегда перекладываем на другого человека то, чем мы сами дышим, чем мы являемся по сути. Вот, знаете, я вспоминаю, в детстве мы во дворе, когда спорили друг с другом, мы говорили так: кто как обзывается, тот так и называется. И это не случайно, это не просто детская поговорочка и шутка. Смысл очень глубокий, психологический. Мы всегда в любом человеке видим свои собственные качества и думаем, что он такой же, как и мы. И из этого исходя оцениваем его действия и даем оценку вообще. Что касается американского истеблишмента, не американского народа в целом, там главным образом очень много честных, порядочных, душевных людей, которые хотят жить с нами в мире и дружбе. Мы знаем об этом и дорожим этим, и будем на них опираться. Но что касается американского истеблишмента, то руководящего, правящего класса, то его сознание складывалось в известных и довольно непростых условиях. Ведь освоение европейцами американского континента было связано с истреблением местного населения, с геноцидом, как сегодня говорят, прямым геноцидом индейских народов. Затем последовал очень жесткий, большой, тяжелый период рабства, рабовладения, очень жестокий. И все это идет по истории, до сегодняшнего дня сопровождает жизнь Соединенных Штатов. Иначе откуда взялось бы движение Black Lives Matter? Жизнь черных имеет значение.
All right, so
До сих пор афроамериканцы сталкиваются с несправедливостью и истреблением. Вот руководствуясь вот такими соображениями, правящая класс Соединенных Штатов решает и внутриполитические, и внешнеполитические проблемы. Ведь Соединенные Штаты единственная страна в мире, которая применила ядерное атомное оружие, причем против неядерного государства, против Японии в конце Второй мировой войны, против Хиросимы и Нагасаки. Никакого, абсолютно никакого военного смысла в этом не было. Это было прямое истребление гражданского населения. И почему об этом говорю? Ну что знаю, что Соединенные Штаты, руководство Соединенных Штатов в целом настроено иметь с нами определенные отношения, но по тем вопросам, которые представляют интерес для самих Соединенных Штатов. И на их условиях. Мы, хоть они думают, что мы такие же, как они, но мы другие люди. У нас другой генетический и культурно-нравственный код. Но мы умеем отстаивать свои собственные интересы. И мы будем с ними работать. В тех областях, в которых мы сами заинтересованы. И на тех условиях, которые мы считаем выгодными для себя. И им придется с этим считаться. Им придется с этим считаться, несмотря на все попытки остановить наше развитие. Несмотря на санкции, оскорбления. Им придется с этим считаться. Ну, а мы, имея в виду...
all right, so basically I played the rest of the video, allowed the 5 minutes to go through because he was just going off. Saying that he had close relations with Biden, they were kids growing up, and that whole kid saying, what you say about others is what you're really doing. And then he starts to go and describing the United States history. Like, we know our history is a little janky, but we're trying. We're a whole country of variety of differences. We're working on it. We were allowing those differences to flourish. And right now it's under some scrutiny. Continuing on. In an unusual, pointed manner, Putin recalled the United States history of genocide, indigenous people, and cruel experience of slavery, the counting of repression of Black Americans today, and upprovoked and the unprovoked U.S. nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the Second World War. So basically, he's telling Biden that we didn't drop no bombs. We didn't do none of that in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So who's the real killer? But again, we just don't know what Putin got in his closet. We all have skeletons in our closet. He might have a lot. We don't know for facts. He suggests the states should not judge others by their own standards. Some American journalists and observers have reacted to this as trolling. Was not. Some American journalists and observers have reacted to this as trolling. It was not. It was a preamble. It was the preamble to Putin's most important message in years. To what he called the American establishment, the ruling class, he said the United States leadership is determined to have relationship with Russia, but only on its own terms. And this goes into what he basically said in the video. This is new for Putin. He has for years made the point, always politely, that the Western powers need to deal with Russia on a basis of correct diplomatic protocols and mutual respect for nation sovereignty if they want to ease tensions. But never before has he been as blunt as this, saying in effect, do not dare try to judge us or punish us for not meeting what you say are universal standards because we are different from you. Those are now over. Oh, there's more. Okay. China pushing back against Russia too. Against you, China pushing back against the United States too. Putin's forceful statement is remarkably similar to the equally firm public statement made by the senior Chinese diplomats to the United States Secretary of State Attorney Antony Blinken in Alaska last week. And I don't even know why they went all the way to Alaska. I know Alaska is like one of the military grounds America, China, and Russia are trying to conquer. The only place that was covered in snow, the only place that's melting, the only place that hasn't been touched by humans, the only place that has like prehistoric stuff that's still frozen in ice. I don't know. The only place that found one of the oldest humans ever found in ice. It's a lot to be found in Alaska. I just don't know what they're looking for. Or if they're even looking. Blinken opened the meeting by lambasting. It's deep. Blinken opened the meeting by lambasting China's increasing authoritarianism and aggressiveness at home and abroad. Blinken opened the meeting by lambasting China's increasing authoritarianism and aggressiveness at home and abroad, in Tibet, Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and the South China Sea. He claimed such conduct was threatening the rules-based orders that maintain global stability. Yang Jiechi, Chinese Communist Party foreign affairs chief, responded by denouncing American hypocrisy. The U.S. does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength. This is what China was saying. The United States uses military force and financial hegemony to carry out long-arm jurisdiction and suppress other countries. It abuses so-called notions of national security to obstruct normal trade exchanges and to incite some countries to attack China. No. No, you guys get caught on video. He said that the United States had no right to push its own version of democracy when it was dealing with so many discontent and human rights problems at home. It's hard to argue there, but if we check the statistics, the stats, and not go off emotions, we'll find that those statistics show a different story than what we believe is happening in America, what China and Russia are taking advantage of in the belief system, because a lot of people don't do the research. It's just that's how you get taken advantage of. Russia and China drawing closer together. Putin's statement was given added weight by two diplomatic actions. Russia recalling of its ambassadors in the United States and Foreign Ministry. Sergei Lavrov's meeting in China with his counterpart Wang Yi. Beijing and Moscow agreed at the summit to stand firm against Western sanctions and boost ties between their countries to reduce their dependence on the United States dollar in international trade and settlements. Lavrov also said, we both believe the United States has a destabilizing role. It relies on Cold War military alliances and is trying to set up new alliances to determine world order. Though Biden's undiplomatic comments about Putin may have been unscripted, the impact has nonetheless been profound. Together with harsh tone of the United States foreign ministries meeting in Alaska, also provoked by the U.S. side, it is clear there has been a major change in the atmosphere of the United States, Russia, China relations. Yeah, mixed them up, but you get it. What will this mean in practice? Both Russia and China are signaling they will only deal with the West where and when it suits them. Sanctions no longer worry them. So you got no kind of sway in the other countries. China is a truly strategic partner and like-minded country for Russia. Our cooperation in the international stage is having established stabilizing effect on the global and regional situation. The two powers are also showing they are increasingly comfortable working together as close partners and if not yet military allies. They will step up their cooperation in areas where they have mutual interest in development of alternatives to the Western dominated trade and payment system. Countries in Asia and further afield are closely watching the development of this. Countries in Asia and further afield are closely watching the development of this alternative international order led by Moscow and Beijing, and they can also recognize the signs of increasing US economic and political decline. It is a new kind of Cold War, but not one based in ideology like the first incarnation. It is a war for international legitimacy, a struggle for hearts and minds and money of the very large part of the world not aligned to the United States or NATO. The United States and its allies will continue to operate under their narrative while Russia and China will push their competing narrative. This was made crystal clear over the past few dramatic days of major power diplomacy. The global balance of power is shifting, and for many nations, smart money might be on Russia and China now. There goes the United States, man. I'm telling you. Mm, Theta, a new sign of paradigm shift. What's this one? Theta, a new sign of the paradigm shift. Theta, a new sign of a new paradigm. Theta, a sign of a new paradigm shift. The rise of Theta. Theta, a new paradigm shift. Rise of Theta. Not going to get into the whole, read through the whole article, just like 60-70% of it. Okay, blockchain technology has become mainstream in the term. Oh, blockchain technology has become a mainstream term in the past decade, and the demand for decentralization and to facilitate data transfer securely has become overwhelming. Blockchain technology is edging into the very existing digital application, most recently aiming to revolutionize the ways we consume digital content by addressing lackluster content delivery networks. Data network has become a focal point of the crypto industry after surging 17,000% in the past year, reaching an all-time high of $14.61 and breaking into the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, surpassing projects such as Chainlink and Dogecoin. Data network is not the only project that aimed to decentralize CDN content delivery networks. DTube was one of the first blockchain projects to address such issues and provide a blockchain network to disrupt content delivery and ownership. However, Theta's proposal proved to be more appealing to investors. Theta as the future of decentralized content delivery, founded in 2016 by computer scientist Mitch Lihu, J Long, Theta Network aimed to create a decentralized network that improves video quality, rewarding those that offer their resources to the network and improve video delivery through blockchain technology. Theta's primary advisors include Steve Chang, co-founders of YouTube, Justin Kang, co-founder of Twitch. Theta Network is a subsidiary of leading VR platform Silver.tv, which helped develop the native blockchain for Theta initiative as a centralized project. In 2017, Theta Network conversion to a decentralized hybrid blockchain according to Crunchbase data. Theta TV, the forefront product of Theta, has received multiple series of funding rounds to develop their offering. Theta Network's goal is to diminish content delivery networks' costs and demand for high quality 4K streams increases. By rewarding users for their bandwidth and their contribution to the network, Theta creates a self-serving network where the end user is the facilitator of power to the ecosystem, thus developing a cost-effective solution while platforms such as Netflix or YouTube face latency or higher costs in their delivery in parts of the world with an unequal internet connection. Theta brings a viable alternative through their decentralization peer-to-peer self-organization network, aimed towards the growing Web 3.0 infrastructure. Theta increases validator nodes that encompasses enterprises such as Sony, Europe Sierra Ventures, and to contribute to the network expansion. In 2020, the company announced that the partnership with Google, which according to Forbes is a game changer as the global enterprise slowly dipped its feet into blockchain technology. On the flip side, decentralization on the Theta network is facilitated by Fortune 500 validator nodes, which contradicts the notion of decentralization. Theta, talk to me. Theta TV developed as a centralized business and migrated towards hybrid blockchain, which doesn't guarantee centralization is ensured. Investors in Theta have a questionable reputation in China. The top 10 holders can influence the price movement and spike Theta as they control 61% of the total tokens in circulation. That is not decentralized. They have a vested interest, all of them, whatever it may be. They can, let's say that. New meta content delivery demand for decentralization future is growing. And and companies such as Samsung or niche digital content enterprises acknowledge its importance. Theta creates new means for YouTube, Amazon, Video, Netflix, or any CDN to facilitate data transfer through a user network. The proposed infrastructure generates efficiency while rewards through keep keep the network active and worthwhile, according to Theta's head of platform, Timothy Lee. With the emergence of NFTs and digital assets into the blockchain space, Theta will jump on a new endeavor into the growing marketplace. According to their roadmap, Theta will be developing an NFT marketplace ahead of their mainnet 3.0 release, which includes a new economic model for staking and burning T-Fuel tokens. All right, but the rest of the article is on Daily Coin. Theta TV usage has increased drastically as the company has partnered with Hollywood studios Lionsgate and delivered content to the platform. With the growing demand for NFTs, the company will offer possibility to intertwine existing IPs such as movie characters, and create unique offerings to movie fanatics as one of a kind assets, according to Theta. They are entering an untapped market, which can see Theta becoming a central player for movies, gaming, and devotees. I'm not sure what devotees are. Hold on. A person who is very interested in and enthusiastic about someone or something. Good to know. Is Theta's price reflective of their value? According to their head of strategy, Wes Leavitt, the price increase could be a form of speculation for the potential of Theta. However, users are currently buying into the anticipation of new stage for Theta with the release of their mainnet 3.0. Although anticipation plays a significant role in crypto, Theta value has been recognized since 2020, given their initiative to take on content distribution and rewards. My last article, I was trying to keep this video short, but I don't think I did a good job. So, this one, hedge fund manager. I think they meant fund, but because FUD means fear, uncertainty, doubt. But maybe I'm just mixing it up. Hedge fund manager Ray Dalio, how you gonna say it, says good probability of use of a U.S. Bitcoin ban. As the Bitcoin correction deepens, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt has returned. Hey, with billionaire hedge fund, they fixed it. Billionaire hedge funds, wow. With billionaire hedge fund manager Ray Dalio adding a whole bunch of more to it. In an interview with Yahoo Finance editor-in-chief on March 24th, the founder of $150 billion hedge fund Bridgewater Associates states that there is a good probability that the United States government could ban Bitcoin just as it did with gold ownership in 1930s. That happened because government leadership at the time did not want gold to compete with fiat money and credit as a store of wealth, Dalio added. They don't want other monies to be operating or competing because things can get out of control. So I think that it would be very likely that you will have it under a certain set of circumstances outlawed the way gold was outlawed. The billionaire hedge fund manager and philanthropist who called Bitcoin one hell of an invention and compared it to gold in January pointed out that India's government is already trying to ban Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading in general. He added that he is not an expert, but asserted that it can be tracked and the government can work out who is dealing with it. He added that it is not an expert, but asserted that it can be tracked and the government can work out who is dealing with it. I know Bitcoin, because it's mined majorly in China, they've already had some reports that they've already reversed the Bitcoin transactions before. So keep your ears to the ground, folks, or to this channel. However, there was a little light at the end of Dalio's gloomy outlook when he acknowledged Bitcoin BTC has stood the test of time as an asset class. This is his quote: Bitcoin has proven itself over the last 10 years. It hasn't been hacked. It's by and large, therefore, worked on an operational basis. It has built a significant following. It has an alternative, in a sense, store of wealth. It is a digital cash, and those are pluses. On March 16, Dalio stated that the US government could target those ditching the dollar for Bitcoin as it becomes inhospitable to capitalism. In preparation for shock tax changes to tackle the national debt crisis, the comments come as Bitcoin's correction continues to deepen, as signs that the bull market is entering its later stages have emerged on chain. BTC has corrected by 13% from its all-time high of $60,000 100. Wow, 60,100 to current price of 52,000. All right, and this is my episode for the day. So hope you stay blessed, have a great day, and keep learning. No.